more money. So that is actually the statistics, that's what it says. But to the traditional, so I was married and it was completely traditional. But on it, just being transparent, I've only dated foreign and white. So that whole traditional standard, that is the standard. Like when I got married, that was the standard. When my ex-husband got hurt, though, I'm an IT analyst, so I was able to get up and go to work and take care of things when he was not able to go to work. But it's still very doable. I think today people buy a lot of crap they don't need, so yeah, they're making a lot of money, but they're in debt, and that's the problem. Not necessarily that they don't make the money.
Why don't
Correct.
you put that one on that side so you can get that
You might
angle
wanna
too?
Yeah,
piggyback
so,
on
Like,
to
Right
your
on that
point
ledge.
about most women wanting traditional, I think you kind of have to look at how that woman
on
was
that
raised.
ledge right there.
I grew up in a household, my parents are still married. They've been married 53 years. My mother had a traumatic accident a few years ago, and I literally watched my daddy not leave her side. So for me, seeing my dad be a provider meant more than just financially. It meant physically, it meant emotionally, it meant spiritually. It meant a number of other things, and I think people tend to forget about those things when they
Bingo.
hear somebody say, I want them to be a provider. It's more than just financial. To your point about finances being, and the world being what it is now, I watched my parents decide for their household, 50-50 was gonna work for them. My thing on that 50-50 topic is you get with your person, y'all figure out what works for y'all, and y'all rock that thing out.
But Ashley, don't lose your train of thought. The problem is that when a man is providing, if y'all agree upon that, some reason why a man is devalued because that's what he brings to the table is only 50%.
So for Ashley, that doesn't.
Not for you, but
and
you know
I
what I'm
can't
saying.
speak for other women.
Thank you. Okay.
I can't speak for other women. I can only speak for Ashley and what works for her. So for me, whoever I end up with, we're gonna figure out what that looks like financially. We're gonna rock that thing out. So whether it's 50-50, whether he decides I'm gonna take care of the whole household, we are going to figure out what that looks like for us.
Can I add to that too though? The big and that's great. Y'all can applaud for that because that's actually real. But the biggest problem that contributes to that too as well is that y'all gonna hate this too though, is that so many women treat boyfriends like husbands and so many men treat girlfriends like wives. So you worried about my income and we're not even fucking married. That's part of the problem.
So part of that comes from a lot of us not being taught how to date.
Bingo.
That's something we're not taught. I don't think I was ever taught how to date, but I watched my parents. I had an example, so I knew what to look for.
You saw the end game, but not the
Absolutely.
pregame.
I didn't see the pregame, but
Bingo.
I had conversations with my parents about those things. I knew what to expect from a man. I knew that there were certain things. If that man didn't show up in a certain manner that my dad showed me how I should be treated, I'm not dealing with him.
So you saw the example of a man, you saw the example of a woman reciprocating the energy that she was receiving, and therefore you know in a relationship how to do and what it looks like. Now the thing about it is that you're trying to figure out, or sometimes we try to figure out how do we get to that point. Because what we're doing is that we're self-sabotaging our dating experience by thinking it's one contributing factor to failure, when there's several.
So,
No, but-
hold on.
Yes.
Do we have any women here that believe men should be paying all the bills, first of all? Do we have any women? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna give her the mic.
Respectfully?
He's paying all the bills. You're working, right? What are you doing with your money?
I am investing my money. I am using for us.
Does he have access to
Sex is
Of
not an
course,
investment.
as needed. Yes, he's gonna be very aware of.
Individual account, and there's not a joint
That's true.
for the money.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this much. Mama did say
Here we go.
that you should have some money to the side. Now that was stated. However, I have no problem having my money be an investment for us. Because there are things that are going to come up, and if we are spending our money on the things that we need, then we won't have our money for emergencies
So again,
and the
what are you
things
doing
that
with
we
your
want.
So again, what are you doing with your money that you work for?
I just told you what I'm doing with my money.
That was a real vague
What? Oh,
investing.
excuse me. Okay. Well,
Honest,
let me be
respectfully.
more clear about
Yes, ma'am.
investments. I'm investing in things like 403Bs. I'm investing in things like property. I'm
Okay.
investing in things like a 503B to make sure that our children can go to school and not have debt.
Absolutely.
I am investing in things like us going on vacations.
Okay.
And having experiences.
So essentially, you guys are working together.
Yes, and that's
Okay.
why I don't understand why the assumption is that when a woman wants you to pay all the bills, that her plan is
But
not for
you're
you
the-
to work together.
You're the exception.
I don't believe that.
Now, I'm